Okay. I think the way you have to do this is. Is that in business?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I liked it.
You know how to get there. Like, okay.
Can we type this in now?
Well, you have to know where you put it.
Oh, do you want trap?
I think that'll work, only if it doesn't. Then you would just type, if you get there, you should be able to just type that into a spot. You stand in front of it, you can't see it. That work? Yeah, you're in?
Well, I'm on the site, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing where to type it in.
There's
Yeah, I
a
have the
spot that
app.
says enter code.
Yeah. Yeah, in that,
No, not.
no, not there.
Two
No,
caps on
I was
this.
trying to
The
go to
bars,
desktop
yeah.
view.
There.
Oh, desktop view?
Yeah.
But even there, it should be sign in. Join lesson, join lesson. It'll say join lesson.
Yeah, then you can type it.
Yeah. Join lesson.
I don't know.
Just in case I forget my name.
You're a doctor.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, you said. She's in college.
Did we actually sign it?
Yes, you actually signed it. She actually works for her father, and, she's a history major. She's back here, she grew up in Proctor, it's my stepdaughter.
Gotcha.
She grew up in, Proctor, she's, went to college in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then started work in Boston, and then decided I don't like it down here, came back to Vermont.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, is everybody in? Okay. Alright, so. Okay, actually, let me do it this way, 'cause- so you guys can't see now. You guys are in. So the next thing we do is, you should see a welcome to Nearpod sign, right? All right.
Oh, Professor Ian told me to tell you that he is at the tech office right now, or the IT room.
Who is?
Ian?
Oh, Ian is, okay.
Yeah. He just wanted me to tell you that.
Okay. Okay, so you should have something on your page that says something about Lucayanos. Remember who the Lucayano are?
Those are the first ones, right?
You have to push enter for it to get to me. Finish.
No, seriously.
Sweet thing about it. They have like collectors that you sign in the class with. I feel a lot of classes. Good. Good.
Are you done? Oh, wait. Guess I have a lot to say. All right. Oops. A couple people.
Yeah, like,
Some of the good ones here. They're all good. Did I do that one already? Well, there's another one. Did I do this one? Nope. All right, and last one I'll show. Okay. Now remember we did something like this on however long ago it was we had class last time. It was on Monday.
Long 2
That
days.
tells you what my week has been like, right? Oh my god, it was so long ago.
I'm with you.
So just again, putting yourself in that space with those folks, with you know the people who are encountering somebody that they've never seen before. So if we have other questions like this, literally put it in first person, like this last one. You know, it's like this is how I see it. This is so you're really putting yourself in that mindset, just like what you were doing when you were interviewing each other back and forth. What we're doing right now is a little exercise. You guys have done the discussion about guns, germs, and steel. You're reading Destruction of the Indies and working on that. This is a little bit about the conquest and the encounter, but also really focused on what you're going to be reading in the Destruction of the Indies as well. So it'll help you with the discussion that you're going to be having over this week. This week should be the Destruction of the Indies discussion. So that's what we're doing with this little thing. There are about 5 or 6 slides that we'll go through and have little discussions afterwards about each of them.
Wait, the Destruction of the Indies, that's gonna be due Sunday night, you said, right?
Right. So all this week you can
Yeah.
add comments to it and everything, but you have to make some response by Sunday night, because that's the only way you'll see what other people are saying. You have to make a response in order to see what everybody else is saying, otherwise you just get a blank screen with questions there. So in order to jump in and see what people are contributing, you have to contribute something.
Is that the small groups one?
Yes, you're divided into small groups and you will answer the one for your section. I'll show you after all of this.
Okay.
But yeah, so group 1 does questions 1 and 2, group 2 does questions 3 and 4, and then but you talk to each other and communicate with each other.
So we're talking to other people, not just people in our small group, right?
It should be, once you put the thing in, you should be able to see
Everyone.
everybody, but I'm not positive sometimes, because my thing does different things than yours does, so my great intentions don't always come out the way they are. You might be just talking to each, to your small.
To the group
small
on
group.
responding to that
Yeah.
question. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one, moving on. So now you've had that first one, now you see how to kind of respond to these. Okay, almost everyone, got it? All right, so here we go. Let's see, what other one? These are good, you guys. And this one just distills all of them. Okay. So with that exercise with those two, we did that on Monday. But does it feel different kind of doing it now that you've done some more reading and some more kind of discussing of those things? Okay. Did you see a theme on either side, with the Lucayano or with the Spanish side of your responses? Yeah. So what was the kind of the thing that kept coming up over and over on the Lucayano side? So how the Spanish were different. So yeah, perception, your first perception of the Spanish and their visual perception. So that was a theme that quite a few of the answers came up with. What else?
I think the aggressive nature of the Spanish, just because we know that they kidnapped various people during their first interactions with tribes, so we know that they weren't necessarily they didn't try to hide their aggressive tendencies.
And the Lucayano saw that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So and a lot of your answers that showed, ooh, these people are kind of aggressive here. What's going on? But yeah.
Yeah, they also had dealt with aggressive people before with the Caribs.
Right. Remember the
and stuff.
Carib had been attacking that eastern side of the Antilles. So the Bahamas would have had Carib incursions, and Puerto Rico would have had Carib incursions. So the Lucayano, it's not the first time they've had somebody kind of run up on them, but it is the first time they look like the Europeans, right? The Caribs look like them, but they just have different culture. So that was that, but they did recognize the aggressiveness. You know, you might look different, but you've got something. You want something. On the other side, as you guys are taking on the persona of the Spanish, what kinds of themes are constant?
Nakedness.
Oh my God, they're naked.
Or the gold.
And the gold, right?
it's
Yeah.
pretty
She's like,
much
yeah,
the
the
house there.
glitter. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know the movie Dark Crystal?
Yeah, I just see it in fantasy.
Ooh, sparkly things. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's the Spanish with that. What else? There was a theme that was similar to the Lucayano side. Yeah, they're just different. I mean, both sides are like, wow, you're kind of different. So they're both encountering difference. How they deal with that difference is going to be different. And we see through our readings how each side kind of deals with it and the consequences of how they deal with it. Okay, you guys ready for the next one? Okay, so this is the book that you guys are working on this week, The Devastation of the Indies. And it was written in 1542. So think about the timeline that we're going with here of when Columbus first gets there. So when do they meet the Lucayanos? All right, so 1492. The ocean blue, yes. It's actually a long poem, but nobody ever remembers past that first stanza. Okay, so this book was written in 1542, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't do math very fast, but that's not very long.
Yeah, 50 years.
Yeah, okay. So we've got 50 years there. That book is written within 50 years of them landing. And he's like, this is bad. Something's wrong, right? Okay, yeah, we messed this up. It doesn't get published for another 10 years.
They knew it being like it getting published or.
Well, do you guys know what was holding it up? It's in the introduction, so of why the writing was held up. but you might have skimmed over it.
Was it funding?
Well, no.
Was it the message or something?
Yes. Because of the message, the funding is held up, but it's more about the message. Who does he send it to?
The prince or the king?
The king. He sends it to the king, and he sends it to somebody else.
The papacy? The Pope?
Yes. So he's a Franciscan friar, right? So he sends, well, he doesn't send it to the Pope. He sends it to his head person, who then sends it to the Pope. Because he's the head Franciscan is like, this is a little above my pay grade. So he sends it on to the Pope. And the crown sends it down the pipeline. They're like, ooh, this is way, I don't know what's going on. I need some advisors to help me with it. So the 10 intervening years are this manuscript going back and forth and in and out and being discussed to, ad nauseum between on the religious side and on the political side. It can't be published until the crown says it's okay. There is censorship. There is publication censorship. So this is saying bad things about the government, or people doing things in the government's name, right? In the crown's name.
Oh, because they funded Columbus, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
By this time, it's his grandmother funded the excursion, the voyage. Yes. So this is, it's family honor, it's national honor, it's all these things. When Columbus, well, I don't know, you guys haven't read the Columbus thing yet, but Columbus, his charge, when Isabella sends him off, what's his charge? What is he?
Wasn't he shooting for India?
Right, yeah, and when he got there, what was he supposed to do?
Find spices and materials.
And
Gold.
Gold, yeah, spices, material, and gold. So.
Oh,
yeah,
and
so
put England's name on
Not England.
something or Britain.
No.
Spanish. I mixed that up.
Spain, yes, put Spain's name on the map. How?
Create a trade route in a colony.
She didn't really care about the colony,
Trade.
but the trading was one thing. But there's another big thing that they're supposed to do.
Didn't she say oppress, put the people to work, but nearest, as close as you can get to what their consent or something? Or was that later?
It's later, but yes, she does say that.
She was like, don't enslave them,
Right.
but enslave them with their permission.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't have to make sense. She was queen. But before that, they didn't know that they didn't know they were going to run into new people, right? Where did they think they were going?
China. Yeah.
India, China, over there. Sipangu actually is where. Sipangu, which is Japan.
Didn't he think Cuba was Japan, or was that?
Well, because the Lucayana were could just go west, please go away. They kept sending them west, and then the biggest landmass they hit is Cuba. And from where they hit it, it looked like it could be a continent, but or it could be a big island, or it was a big island. It was the biggest thing they hit on that side. So yeah, this could be. And then they saw the people coming out of the hills, and they were like, no, we're not. He figured out pretty quickly that he had run into something unusual. But the issue is, this is where they thought they were going. What was the East? Where were they supposed to go?
Not there.
Oh, the Silk Road.
Yeah, they were trying to hit the Silk Road from coming the other direction. What was at the end of the Silk Road? If you were coming from the west, from Europe, what was at the end of the Silk Road? China and Japan. So, and were those just like, you know, ratty places?
No,
That's
those
where
were
everything
huge
was-
civilizations.
yeah.
Huge states, right? That had old permanent stuff there. This is where everything came from. So, with, you know, coming the other way, they were like, we should hit like, you know, Manhattan, you know, skyscrapers and, you know, Wall Street and all this kind of stuff. That's what they thought they were going to hit, was a settled, huge city-state that was the nexus of all of this trade, where Marco Polo had been. Right? Marco Polo comes back, he's like, oh my God, there's like silk and gold and spices and kings and queens and big cities that, you know, that are huger than anything we've got here in Europe. That's where they thought they were going. And he gets to these little ratty islands and he's like, this is, I don't know where we are, but we're not where I wanted to be. But if this is where they thought they were going, what do you think if you're queen? What are you going to tell this person to do? Yes, start a trade route, but there's something else that she wants.
Christianity.
That's it. She just consolidated her entire country. All these little places they've been fighting for 1,000 years, almost 800 years, to consolidate all this, get the Muslims out of there and make it the Christian realm. So his mandate was start a trade route, but plant Christianity there. So it was sword and cross, right? On his trip, he had priests and he had soldiers.
Not really families.
No families. No women that we know of, but and of course in that time the sailors, if you were a female and you wanted to sail, you would just pretend to be a guy. So we don't think there were any men, but I mean any women on it, but who knows? But it was all men, and these men that were on this voyage were they were entrepreneurs, really, right? They've just come from a society that is militaristic. It has 800 years of military history, and that military history has been all for making it a Christian realm. It's to get rid of those Muslims and make this a Christian realm.
Weren't some of the people who traveled with Columbus also criminals?
Yeah.
Or maybe, or that might have been later.
That was later when
That
they
was
were giving like
later.
annulments for murder if you spent
Yeah.
2 years in the
They're
Yeah.
trying to get bodies.
The way I read it, I also thought someone went
On the
with them,
very first trip, he got whoever he could.
Okay.
Technically, you were supposed to be a honorable full citizen of the state.
Yeah.
You were also supposed to be Christian on this trip, but we know that there were Muslims and we know that there were Jews on the ship.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out. I mean, he was just like, bodies. We have bodies on the ship. Because you're going somewhere away to some place that hasn't been done before. It's not, I mean, they didn't think the world was flat. They didn't think they were going to follow it. They were sailors. They understood the curvature of the earth. But what they didn't know was how long it was going to take you to get there. And once you got there, if you were going to be where you thought you were. Yeah. But it took a little, September, yeah, it took about a month to get over there. So September 9th, and they landed on October 12th. So, but he had said, I can't remember what he said. I mean, he had said something like he had calculated 18 days or something like that for the voyage. So 33 days was way longer. So we were a little antsy.
Didn't he also keep 2 logs too?
Mm-hmm.
To like show the crew like, it's
Yeah, we're
gonna be
almost
like
there.
so, yeah.
Yeah, yes, you get 2 logs, one to show the other captains and the other that was telling the truth. And he published a mixture of them, so he put them together when he published his voyage. He kind of took the good parts out of each of them. So, you know, it's like, I think it was you, Kayla, that was saying that it was like the hypocrisy of everything that was coming out. You know, the writing with what is like, you say one thing but mean another kind of thing, and that was exactly what happened with Columbus. So the charge for him in 1492 was to go forth and conquer, really. So find this trade route, plant the Christian flag there, and then we will be in control of all of this. Because what had happened when she, what had happened was, while she was traveling, while she was trying to reconsolidate the thing, she ends up burning all of her trade bridges.
Yeah, the Muslims are the access to the east.
Exactly. So everything's coming from the east. She just got rid of the main supply trail, right? So if you kick those guys out, that means your North Africa trade route is gone, and some of your Mediterranean trade route is gone. It also angers the Italian and the French traders as well, because they have relations with the Muslim traders, and she's just basically told them to go take a flying leap. And so they're like, well, we don't want to upset our trade partners, so we're not going to trade with you. But anything that we get through them, we're not passing on to you. So she's got to find another way. The logical way was to go east. But that meant going, because the Mediterranean's cut off for them, that meant going around Africa. Well, you can't do that because her cousin in Portugal was already doing that. So the Portuguese have already staked the claim going around Africa, and they're almost all the way around now by this time. So she can't do that. So when she finally kicks the Muslims out in January of 1492, she's like, some guy's been coming around talking about, we didn't have time for him though. So maybe we have time for him now. Did you guys find him? Within 3 weeks, he's there saying, okay, this is my plan. I've been trying to tell you, this is great. She knows that she needs money. She knows that she needs to establish these trade routes. So this is the last option for her. She really has to do this for her nation to survive. The other thing she's got to do is figure out what to do with all their standing army. Right? I mean, these people have been generations of training to fight, first off, and now there's nothing else to fight for. So on the back burner, what she's doing is she's saying, you go out there, you find out what's on the other side of that trade, and if we have to fight for that route, we will. But I want to know what's going on over there. So that's why she sends some of her top military advisors along on this trip. But it all has to be done under the cross, right? No, in the name of God. So she also sends some of her top religious advisors along. They know that in this area, right, they have their own religion. It's some weird Hebrew religion, but they have something. So we've got to send people who can help tell them what the true religion is. There are linguists on this trip. But the linguists, of course, speak languages of the East. They speak Chinese, they speak Italian, that's not very far east, but because of the Silk Road, they speak Turkish, Arabic, and I think a couple other of the Asian languages too. But, because you don't know what you're going to run into over there. We'll see. None of those linguists are going to help them, right? It's not going to, Caribbean, that's not quite language. So, I mean, they tried, the communication, they tried, but they just really didn't know how far off they were. They didn't know there's a whole landmass in the middle. And it takes them a while to figure out that they really aren't in Asia, but. Okay, so we've got the 50 years here.
How do you miss that?
That'd be so confusing. Like,
Well-
tell you the truth. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you're trying to
Yeah.
go to Asia and you end up in a totally different spot. You go
Yeah.
back and you think it's
Well, yeah, think about
Yeah.
it.
Imagine if we just discovered another continent up
Yeah,
north and be like,
that's what
what's
I'm
going on
saying.
here?
Yeah, I mean,
So
think
should
about
we
how
know
mind
maps
blowing
anywhere,
it.
like-
Well, they had
Did
maps,
they?
but nobody had gotten here before.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and they didn't talk to the Norse, so, you know, the Leif Erikson's journey, there are maps of his journey to Iceland and to Nova Scotia and that area, but they look weird because they're oriented up in Norway and Scandinavia, and that doesn't help people in, and they're just becoming part of the Christian realm. So the information hasn't quite drifted down, so those navigational maps aren't part of the world of Columbus. Right? Columbus's world is Egyptian and Greek and Turkish and or Arabic, and so and those are beautiful maps, but it's of the Mediterranean, right? Even Ptolemy's map, where he's like, it is round, they haven't hit that other spot. So they just haven't gotten that far. There were probably, if they had gone and done some research in Timbuktu, in Mali, at that university, they might have found some connection there, that there was something over there. Because sub-Saharan Africans had made that journey. But they hadn't made that link yet. So it's just, it was with the information that they had. They just didn't. So yeah, imagine they can't figure out for a long time. It just is like a mind-blowing thing of where are we?
That's great. That's
And
Are you thinking you're going
Yeah.
one way or not?
yeah, exactly.
Like that's.
I mean, Columbus never acknowledged it. I mean, he's always like, I was right.
I was going that way.
I was going that way.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. And the most I found is Eden. So I did find Eden.
So I either found Asia or the paradise.
Well, he never admitted to finding Asia. But he did say he found paradise. So
Oh, okay.
I don't think he ever admitted to finding Asia because he was like, I was right. There's
Something there.
there's something there. We might not, it might not be Asia. I know it's something different. So if it's different, it must be. He was. But in this time frame, other people have figured out. So within 50 years, people have figured out that yes, it is a new space. This is part of why it takes it so long to get De Las Casas thing to get published, is because they're finding all this new information. They're trying to piece together this jigsaw puzzle with pieces missing from the jigsaw puzzle, and it becomes a philosophical question as well. Well, if this is a whole new place, how do we classify these people? Are they people? Because they're not in the Bible. It's Christian, remember? It's Catholic. Everything has to come out of the Bible. If it's not in the Bible, I mean, think about the evangelical movement. If it's not in the Bible, it's not true. The world was made, I don't know what they say. I forget. Oh, it's 2,000 years ago. I'm not trying to be glib about it, but I mean, there's, it was made in 7 days, and this is how it happened. This is all part of this conversation that happens in the 10 years between him writing it and it getting published. How do we explain this? Are these people? Are they not people? If they are people, do they have souls? All of this is part of this conversation. Because they're not in the Bible. The Bible talks about after the flood, Noah's children are dispersed all over and everything, but we didn't lose a son. So, all the sons end up somewhere.
That's what, I don't know, don't the Mormon, Aren't the Mormons?
Well,
they
but
believe
that's
that they
a
were
little
the
later.
other-
Yeah, that's a little later than this.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying they came up.
Yes, the Mormons have their, well, now they are, according to the eldest elder, they are the Church of Latter-day the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints. You have to say the whole thing. That's as of about 3 weeks ago. The elders like, we are not Mormons, we are not Latter-day Saints, we are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
You must say the whole thing. But that was a son that got lost. It is too long. I don't know how they think they're gonna do that. Even Mormon scholars who are Mormon are like, how are we gonna do that? I don't know. But the elder said so. But that's also, think about that. It's not in a religion that has a hierarchy like that. When the Pope or the elder or somebody like that makes a mandate, because those are messages from God, right? Then that's important. That guides the way the rest of the church and its people think, and how you as a priest or the communicator of that religion communicate to others, right? So it's really important. That's actually a good example of what would have been happening at this point. The Queen is in charge of of all these Christian people. She gets, but she still is beholden to the papacy, because the papacy, has to tell her whether or not these new members of her realm are human or animal. If they're human, she treats them one way. If they're animals, she treats them another way. If they have souls, that means they're human. If they don't have souls, they're an animal. And that you treat your animals in your realm completely differently than you teach your the people in your realm. So she needs to find this out. She needs to know what it is. But she can't make that. She can't get the message from God. She has to be given that. Okay? So that they have to figure this out. And that's part of what's taking so long. Okay, so this is Bartolome. There is actually no current picture of him. No contemporary picture of him. So these are all how people think he might look.
Got a dome.
Yeah, but that's a Franciscan thing. The Franciscans had a shaved head thing.
And a big one.
Yeah, I tease Professor Dameron that he's in the Franciscan order. He just laughs. But that means that he's part of that order. Notice this picture, the picture on the first page on the bottom left, with the cacique standing behind him. I don't know on yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. There you go. Yeah. He has a cacique. It's the second one down on the left. You see that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, right there. That one. So let's look at that picture. What does that tell us? Yeah. Right. Hmm?
Peace.
Peace?
Seems the writer
Some
for
sort of
them.
agreement.
He's the one telling their story.
Yeah, you see how the Taino is placed. It's like he is standing over him, not because he's telling the story, but it's just kind of making sure you got my word in there, and you can add that to what you're saying. Somebody you can check over your shoulder, like, is that right? Kind of thing. What else do you see in that?
Is that assuming that he
Like in the back.
Does he know how to read
There's
though?
Tainos in the back.
Mhm. Yeah, he
Oh,
would.
yeah.
They would have taught some of them how to
There's a
read.
fire up in there.
There's a bunch of
I don't know if that's a fire, but it might be the sunsetty clouds.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of people in the background too.
Mm-hmm.
And they look all
And they're
leader.
observing him.
Yeah, those are the caciques people out there. Yeah.
And Las Casas is looking over them while he writes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah. So this is one of those that helps give that idea of him being, the protector, right, of the Indians. Kind of thing. Okay. Any other pictures in there that you want to comment on, or?
He's on coins?
Yes, he is. He is that special. Mm-hmm.
This one, it's like a statue.
Mm-hmm.
With the blue background, kind of looks like those two people are just like worshiping him.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, that's in Santo Domingo. It's in the Dominican Republic. And yes, that is an interesting one.
I've never seen that before.
It's in one of the minor plazas.
Well, yeah, it says this is Trinity.
Yeah, I've driven through there once. I've just never seen it.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. That one's in Trinidad, Cuba. There is one like that though, right on your way to what's that beach down there? So you drive over the Osama River, and on the way to the beach, there's one almost exactly like that. Okay. Anyone else? Any others you see? Move on.
They put him in front of a museum.
Hmm?
They put him in front of a museum.
Oh yeah, there's a museum about where is it? Can't remember where it is, but it's about the native cultures with him in front of it. Okay, I'm gonna switch pictures here, or switch slides. Does the question come up for you? Okay, good. I was like, because it doesn't come up on mine. I'm like, what? If you don't know, just make an educated guess.
You have to click this one.
I have a question about, so the quizzes, do we get a word bank?
That would
So
be
we have to
amazing.
memorize all the spelling and everything too?
I'm pretty generous with spelling if I can understand what you're trying to say. It's okay, but yes.
Except for the Barbados.
Just make sure to save
and
some
the
time to do a
Barbados.
review on that, so don't let me hammer. When do we get out of here, 4:50? Yeah, by 4:40, by 4:35, let's do a review, okay? Okay, did everybody in?
If we don't know the spelling, can we spell it phonetically?
Yeah, phonetically is good, because then I can figure, spell it some way that I can figure it out. Okay, so you guys ready? Everybody in? No, we still got a couple out there. One more.
John, oh, that's me.
Juan Pablo.
Juan Pablo.
Oh, I submitted mine.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright, so. How'd you guys do?
What does it even mean, like, we're legal?
Oh no.
that was-
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at those questions, right? Let's look at those things that it could have been. So we've got the papal grant of America to Spain was solely for the purpose of conversion and gave the crown no rights to land.
Not quite.
Not quite. The crown actually had rights to the land, but also the peoples who were there had rights too. That's part of that 10 years there. The crown, the church was trying to figure out what do we do with these folks? I guess because it's a military strategy, though. Really, think about it. If you invade somebody's land, it's always their land. You're invading it, right? So it's still their sovereign land. You just have control over it. Yeah. So that was how she was thinking when she was writing that out. Okay. So Spain must bring Christianity to Indians by a method that, oh gosh, my writing, that is proper and natural to men. Why is that one wrong?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, because it's not, because it is an argument.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then let's go to the other incorrect one. The indigenous had rightful possession of their land by natural law and the law of nations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basic
he
law,
said
they
that.
invaded in a foreign nation. There was no declaration of war. There wasn't. It was just genocide.
Yeah. Okay, so all these things, that's really what happened, but all Spanish wars and conquests in the New World were legal.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is. Like, what do you mean by legal?
Like it was okay that they like went in there and killed everybody.
But it can't be
Right.
if
It goes against
the indigenous had rightful possession of their lands by natural law. The papal grant was solely for the purpose of conversion, and the crown has no legal rights to the land. And Spain was to bring Christianity, which was proper and natural to men. That third one, that last one, can't be true. That's one of those multiple choice kind of, that one, that one, that one. Oh wait, that one, if A and B and C, then not D, right? So, okay. Yeah? Okay, so that one is a difficult one, but that's the concepts that you need to be pulling from this book. That's De Las Casas' argument. He's like, y'all, this is wrong on so many levels. Let me count the ways, is what he's saying. Right? Okay? So that is the whole thing. So when you're reading the destruction, have that in mind. This was her charge going there. This is why they were there, was if we run into people, you're supposed to convert them. You're supposed to make them want Christianity. You're not supposed to make them mad at it and afraid of it and kill them. It's just not right. And if we had run into, the Netherlands or into Denmark or something like that, what would we have done? Right? It's their sovereign land. We would have tried to make them Christian, and we do, with the Netherlands especially, but, that we wouldn't assume that it's our sovereign land. That's not right. These are people. It's theirs by the natural law of man. Okay? Ready to move on? Or you still have questions? Good? Okay. Next.
This time I got a nod.
It's actually an ACT trick.
It is.
I wrote,
Oh,
yeah,
ACT.
I wrote for the College Board. I wrote for
Oh,
ACT.
really?
I wrote for ACT. So
That's fine. I never did.
I did.
I like it better than the SAT.
Yes, the essay question was weird.
Yeah, those are pretty odd. going on in the room that makes them up. You're lucky it was that easy to figure out. It's like, that is
I
not a
went
good
with
question,
social
people.
reform.
Not a good way to ask that question.
That just doesn't sound right for that time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, everybody? All right, you ready? Bingo. Oh my God, what happened? Ah. Ah.
Oh, I didn't get this last one.
Trust her good.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah,
That
they
first
put-
one.
They put merchant, that put social reform.
Oh.
Citizenship.
No, I mean, that book is social reform.
Yeah, but it's not like a real career.
That's what I thought. I was
Yeah.
thinking that.
Oh, I
was
wasn't
like,
gonna be that
like,
tricky. I put him
I
there.
was like,
wrong.
that's not gonna pay the bills.
Okay. So we've got in there, and what all did I put there? The encomendero. What's an encomendero?
That's a person who owns land and people.
Who owns an
Yes.
encomendero.
So he owned natives.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was an encomendero. He owned an encomienda. An encomienda is an allotment of natives.
Land.
Well, and the land for them to work. Okay, the conquistador. That's how he got there in the first place. He was on an expedition, and that's how he gets there. So, yes, and that's how he gets his encomienda, because he was a successful conquistador, he's a successful soldier. And he was so good that they granted him land. That's part of the pay that you got if you did a good job. You got land and people. What's the next strong one? Is the priest. Well, yeah, it's Father Bartolome de las Casas. So yeah, he's a priest. The social reformer, the whole book. He's trying to reform society. It is a career. People still do it or try. But yeah, that's the thing. But he was never a merchant. It's a little tricky because an encomendero, does sell the stuff that they are, but that's not the purpose of an encomienda. So, okay. His career was not to sell things. His career was to take care. An encomendero, your job is to take care of the natives.
He was basically golden plantation.
Yeah, there's a little bit more. Yes and no. Because a plantation owner, the property that they own is the slave. The natives were not property.
Right. They were trying to feel good about what
The job of the encomendero was to Christianize them.
Indenture servitude they said like 6 to 9 months, usually a year, in
Mhm.
either mining, plantation work, and while they were there, they were supposed to Christianize them.
Exactly.
And they got the food.
Yes. The fee that you're paid for doing all that work was learning the Christian religion. That was your pay. Okay, and this is why. Well, this is the argument that De Las Casas uses. He's like, I'm not sure that encomenderos understand what their charge is, what they're supposed to be doing, because they're not doing that. And there are not enough priests to help this happen either. So you were supposed to, as an encomendero, you're supposed to set up a church on your land, and you were supposed to then bring everybody into the fold. But the priests are itinerant; they're moving around, so you don't have a dedicated, unless you're super wealthy, you don't have a dedicated priest for your encomienda. They're kind of moving around from encomienda to encomienda, if they're there at all. Also, remember this is pre-Vatican II or whatever, is the 1965. So nothing's in the vernacular. Nothing is in your common language. Everything that the church does is in Latin. some services in Latin. They've finally gotten beyond turning their backs on you. That's only in the Eastern Orthodox Church, but I mean, you might as well because they're speaking in Latin. You know, even the sermon is in Latin. It's like, really? Okay. So not only then would the Taino have to learn Spanish, but they then have to learn Latin to understand what the heck you're talking about. So they have to learn 2 languages to learn this religion. It's not helpful. Okay. Next, what else did I have on here? Something else in here. Oh, okay.
Boy.
You can eliminate one right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which one?
Okay, did y'all make an educated guess?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're close. Yeah.
Really?
50-50 shot.
Would you go with John?
1537. It's the only date that wasn't
Okay.
there.
So, if that's the date, what was the problem?
It's that they were still committing atrocities, like for significantly longer time. So that's why I chose the last one, the latest date.
You would think, right?
But
Yeah. They weren't necessarily acting on what either the papacy or the kings were saying, to the kings and queens were saying.
Right.
They weren't Christian, so even though they had souls, they could still say, but you know, they're still not Christian, so does it really matter?
Good. Yes.
Well, goal is if they do have souls, declaring that they have souls, that's the way of them being able to be Christian though.
Right.
So that's
If you have a soul, then it's really, are you a babe in the woods, or
Yeah.
do you have a capacity to learn this?
That's why they were always like, you have to do this before, like we have to say this before we can like do anything to you.
So this is part of why De las Casas writes this treatise, right? He's like, the Pope has said these people have souls, possess souls, that they are people and they possess souls. If we are, so there shouldn't be a question for the encomenderos about teaching them the religion, but A, nobody's teaching them the religion, and B, they're treating them as if they were not human, as if they did not have souls. So they're still doing this pre-1537 thing. It's a few years later here, and this is, the message has gotten over here. They know it. They're just ignoring it. And that makes you look good, look bad. The crown, to the crown. When he's writing to the crown saying, this makes you look really bad. Because you are supposed to be the protector of people. These are your people, and it's not working. It's being bypassed. Okay. And what was my last one? Okay, so what I want, because you guys are just starting this, right? You're just getting into it. So the book, right? You're supposed to, you finish it just over this week. So as you're going through, think of these dates and think of what he's writing think of why he has to write it and think of the response, because the responses are in there too. The response to this treatise that he sends are in there. So what are people saying, you know, what were the arguments that were going on between 1542 and 1552? And then what were the responses after he publishes it? Are people like, whatever, or, you know, is this like, oh, scathing, yeah, maybe we're wrong, maybe we should change.
They didn't care.
Most didn't, although some did, and we're like, well, you know, maybe we should reform these things, maybe we should, as we build new ones, as we're finding new places, we should develop them in different ways. The Mexico was conquered in 1521. So we've got the southwest area now under, you know, we've got a whole vast amount of people. And, oh God, what was the date? No, I'm just blanking on it.
The Inca?
Yeah, 1533?
They were the last ones, I remember.
I think it was
They said.
1533 or 35, something like that. So by the time these major civilizations are conquered, they still don't have souls, right? This is a big thing. So what do we do with all of that? Now we're being told they have souls. How do we deal with the encomienda? They're starting to set up missions in each of these places. So how does the church react and deal with these people? And De Las Casas is like, we know what we're supposed to do. This should not be difficult. There is a mandate from the church and there's a mandate from the crown on how we are supposed to interact with these folks. It's not happening. People are just bloodthirsty and goals awed. They just want to come here, make it rich, get wealthy really fast, and you know, go back home to, you know, trumpets and all kinds of things. So I don't know, but they use cornets, whatever it was. Okay. Was that a helpful exercise?
Yeah.
I like it when things are helpful. Okay, so let me, I wanted to go, we were trying to figure out what those going, oh, why is this doing that? We were trying to figure out what was going on with the questions that are due, and then we will do some map review. Password. Oh, you guys, let's take a little break here. It's break time. It's so 5 minutes, and then we'll come back.
So there are 2 discussion things for next week due. This one, and then it says there's another destruction of D&D's thing due, but it's that one. I know, but if when I go over here, destruction of D&D's destruction.
Yeah, just do the one that says discussion.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on the capitals. So you said no repeats, right? So,
That's there should be repeats.
oh, so like Georgetown for Cayman Islands,
There's
Georgetown for that's fine. And then Barbuda has Antigua as its capital.
That's that one.
They're connected
Yeah.
politically, right?
Yeah.
So-
They're connected politically, but they have separate capitals.
So is that one right? So,
Mhm.
and then
So you need to find the other one.
for that one. And then
We're gonna go over these, so yeah. But yeah, you're those look that looks good. My goal is to have you guys pass this, not fail it.
Do you have like templates we can print out and use?
Mm-hmm. They're in the discussion in the module under week 3, I believe. Under week 3.
Another question on the capitals. For Guatemala, do you want, like when, like, so I do it based on the song that I learned in Spanish class in high school, and it only says Guatemala, Guatemala. Do you want
Because it's less you that like Guatemala.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
Guatemala fine,
Yeah.
Guatemala, Guatemala.
Yeah.
My came out with Guatemala City.
Yeah, that's fine.
See.
That's either one is fine.
Yeah, like little yellow printer albacore.
Yeah, it wasn't an elbow for but
No.
I'm always, that's like my dream to like actually land like something decent like
Yeah.
that.
My dad does a bunch of sport fishing out there.
Where's your dad doing when I was out there?
Okay.
What was he?
You guys ready?
Big fishing tip. Oh.
Well, we got one more. Two more. One more. Okay, so what we're gonna do, when everybody gets back is, we'll go over the stuff. My goal is to make you pass this. I want you to pass it. I don't like navigators who get lost in the Caribbean. It's not good. So this will be a study group.
Yay.
If you have the answers, help each other out. I'm not gonna give you the answer. Okay? But I will let you know if you have the wrong answer.
Thank you.
Okay. How's that?
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
where can you find all this stuff again? Sorry.
You go into modules on the side
Mm-hmm.
here. You click on that, and then it's under week 3.
All
So it has, this is the map. If you print this, it gives you, not that, but, oh, I thought I printed it out. It gives you exactly, I'm just gonna print this one out and put numbers on it,
All right.
okay?
Got a position.
All the countries that you need to know,
Is the list?
right here. The list is right here.
Yeah.
Download map list. So all the countries that you need to know with the capitals. The one that I keep always forgetting is Trinidad and Tobago. So you need one of each of those. And then don't forget, you got to learn your Central American and Northern South American capitals too. So if it touches on the Caribbean, then you need to know it. Except for El Salvador, which you also need to know even though it doesn't touch the Caribbean.
El Salvador, San Salvador.
Okay, so let's go over them. And remember, I have in here the that thing that we did, the PowerPoint. So you guys want to use the PowerPoint to do it? Sure. Okay. So the Greater Antilles. Remember that your map is this. So let's do our Greater Antilles.
Cuba, Japan.
What about Jamaica, Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, Puerto
Mm-hmm.
Rico,
You gotta get
Cayman Island,
native. You gotta get
Turks
thing
and
doesn't
Caicos,
matter.
Bahamas,
My cat would be very upset. Disappears.
Anguilla, St.
Okay, that's it.
Bart's.
You're getting too far.
You're too good at this
Oh,
class.
roll here. Okay.
I'm I'm more like just saying it to myself.
Yeah, okay. Don't confuse your friends. All right, so.
Cuba, Guyana,
Okay.
that came in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
Kingston.
Kingstown.
Kingston.
Or Kingstown, which one is
Cayman
worse?
Island.
Kingstown is Trinidad, right?
Georgetown.
It's St. Vincent.
What, forget?
It's Kingston,
This is-
Virginia.
this is- yes.
Yes, Kingston.
The
Cayman
Caymans.
Islands.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
Kingston.
Georgetown.
What's
Mhm.
Haiti.
Yeah, Haiti.
Port-au-Prince,
Oh, Port-au-Prince, yeah.
Santo Domingo, DR.
I don't know why you know that.
I'm from there. Santo.
Santo Domingo.
Puerto Rico. San Juan.
San Juan.
That's
Yeah, that's for, and that's where now it's.
Okay, so
That's the
this
graders.
this is an anchor, right?
Yeah.
So you
that's-
get here and
that's
then
where
you're
you
like,
pivot.
oh my God, where am I?
Where?
Where am I? After you leave Puerto Rico, you keep going
US,
east.
the Virgin Islands.
Yes. Okay. Now, so this little mass here, there'll be one arrow coming out here and one arrow coming out here. What's that arrow?
US.
Virgin Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
British Virgin Islands.
But let's start with the capital.
Charlotte and Mali.
Uh huh.
I did vacation there, so that's.
It's beautiful. Well, actually, not so much anymore with the after Maria, but. Okay, and then the other one. Help. Caleb had a question.
What was the US one?
Oh, the US one, Charlotte and Mali. Like Charlotte.
I don't know how you.
Amali, it's, I remember, we named one of my dogs after it, it's, the Amali part is just how it sounds, like, just sound it out, spell it out.
Is it one word or 2 words?
2.
2 words.
What's the British one?
That is a question.
British Virgin Island one?
Yeah.
I thought you had
Yeah,
it.
capital.
Road town?
Road town, really?
Like
Wow.
road? Like a D?
I'm trying to find more like maps, so like we can break it down.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. You break it down.
What's the capital of Puerto Rico?
San Juan.
So, yeah, I know, what is,
That is the Atlantic Antilles.
are we?
Yeah, I'm about to do that for you.
The British? Road.
Road.
This is my background.
This is actually road in British Virgin Islands capital?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, I don't know.
Oh, some of the are.
It's those little dots, right?
Is that right for Barbados?
It's all those dots?
Yes.
And the one on the
Yeah.
top is the US and the one on the bottom is the.
Well,
You got lost, okay.
like this.
All right, don't let any of your colleagues get lost here, okay? You gotta help each other out. If you're already lost, some of you have them all written down. Somebody who has them written down, write them up on the board. I've got pins.
I definitely
Because,
know.
I'll take it, I'll write it up if you don't wanna write it, I need that.
I've got pins.
Oh, and you gotta even organize.
I'll write it down for you.
I want you guys to do what, ready?
Yeah.
What is it?
Somebody wanna take over part of it?
How is this?
Yeah, just, I'm just gonna put it right here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Andrew. That's why I'm not on baseball team.
You taking the grade?
Yeah, I got
I'll do
those
them.
ones.
I'll start with the Atlantic Caribbean.
Just pick one and keep on going.
And shout out to James, you got people here who can help you, because we don't have a camera. Okay, y'all will help me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So you guys are gonna do the Greater Antilles, the Greater Antilles and the Atlantic Caribbean, okay?
Are your numbers gonna be in any sort of order, or are they gonna be like bouncing around?
They'll be in an order.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I won't put one at the top and two at the bottom. I'll be nice.
Yeah. This office has 2 S's, right?
Huh?
Oh, just
Nassau too.
So it's NASS.
AU.
AU. Oh, okay.
Okay. So they've got the Greater Antilles and the Atlantic Caribbean Islands. Okay, you guys working on that?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're almost done.
See if I have other pins so we can do other ones too. That would be a negative.
Yeah.
I may or may not just be screwing you guys.
Yeah. We took the fall.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm done. I just finished the Greater Antilles. So.
Okay, so if you finish the Greater Antilles, somebody do the Leeward Islands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're separated. even more,
Actually
so
go over to the,
Leeward.
JP,
Yeah.
go over to that side.
Okay.
Because you're gonna need a lot of space.
Okay, yeah, I'll do the windward.
And actually, you go over there too.
I'm
And-
going.
and
we're-
write, yeah.
Oh, we're doing.
Yeah, because
all
you're
the
gonna need a
lesser
lot
Antilles
of,
over
you're gonna
there?
need a lot of space.
Yeah.
Okay, so leeward, windward. All right, so as we go around on this little leeward and windward thing,
Yeah, I'm doing the leeward. And you can do the windward.
Oh, okay.
open. Ábrelo. Que no se abre. ¿Y por qué no se abre? Ah, bla, 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 bla. Open. It's just not being nice to me. I'll just do it this
Yeah,
way.
that's what I'm. Hey.
I would not write them alphabetically.
No, I'm not. I don't think I am. I don't know. Depends on if you did.
Yeah, I wrote it off.
Yeah, I would not do that.
So are we doing it by how we run through right now?
Yeah,
Do that,
let's, let's go through them.
Or is
Okay,
it
so
leeward
let
or
me-
windward?
Second to St. Martin.
You start with the leeward. L comes before W. So let's go to I'm in slideshow. Yeah. Good slide. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Cockboro.
So we did the British,
I think it says Cockborn.
the U.S. and the British Islands here. Then the next big island, quote unquote, in the leewards is Anguilla. U.S. and the British. You start with Martinique. I'm sorry, with Dominica. You start with Dominica. Okay, so
Was it Road Town?
Yes.
Okay, and then we had NT.
No, Anguilla.
Anguilla. Okay.
Then St. Martin.
There's St. Martin and St. Lawrence.
I thought it was Samoa.
that's, if I do it, I'm gonna do either going from St. Martin, I'll go this way or this way. So the numbers have to go one of those different ways. So I'll either go, remember Saba and St. Eustatius will be one number, so you pick which one you want and pick the right capital to go with it,
Okay.
and you go that way, okay?
And these are both
Okay.
You okay, Celia?
Yeah.
Okay. You looked really concerned there.
What's the ending letter?
EAU.
EAU.
Okay, so after Anguilla, Anguilla has two L's.
Oh.
Is, no, oh, for you, yes. For you,
Saint Martin.
And then it had Margo.
what's the capital of St. Martin?
Margot.
I mean, that's what it is.
Okay, St. Martin has two capitals. It has a Dutch side and a French side.
Yeah, that's
You have to have both.
Never mind.
The country is French, the country is Dutch.
Can you add that to my paper when you get it done?
So it depends on the spelling that
Yes.
you put down as to which capital. St. Martin is one of them. San Martin, M-A-R-T-E-N, T-E-N is another one.
So, two capitals, Saint Martin and Saint Martin.
St. Martin is one country, San Martin
Oh,
is another
okay.
country. Each country has its own capital. You must put both.
So what's the one for St. Martin? Marjo or Marigot?
Help, everybody?
Or is it Phillipsburg?
Should I go from St. Lucia to Barbados or from St.
No,
Lucia?
do this and then put Barbados
Okay.
last. I'm not sure. Spell one of them with T-E-E-N, otherwise,
Which,
either one, I mean, one of them, one's, because, yes. So that's the Dutch side, the E-E-N is the Dutch side, the I-N is the French side.
Okay, so Margot is Martin, and then,
Marigot?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Phillipsburg is Martine.
wait, did Margot, just Margot?
Marigo, yeah, there's an I between the R and the O, R and the G, yeah.
And then the other one is Phillipsburg.
Phillipsburg?
Mhm.
Yep.
Like Philip,
Yeah.
and then
I'm gonna
How do you
use
know
this.
So then after like St. Martin, where would you go? St. Croix?
Um,
Or Barbuda?
You can make your, the decision, let's go this way and then come back up that way. So we'll make a circle here. So the next one is one of these two islands that's on the map, it's just too small. So
So
you can do, again, do your thing with the two caps there. So one is Saba and the other is St. Eustatius.
Wait, these aren't the capitals though, these are the, yeah.
Right, yes. So for that one, it'll be only one number, because that's too smushed up on the, that's a good word, isn't it? Smushed.
Eustatius?
Eustatius, E-U-S,
Orangestead?
is which one?
St. Eustatius.
Yes.
Isn't Saba? This guy's just the same thing.
They are in terms of the words, in terms of fast.
Yes, but you have to know, they have different capitals, so whichever one you put down, you have to put the correct capital.
Oh,
But you only choose
okay.
one.
You only choose one, but you have to put the correct
Yeah.
capital.
Okay.
So if you put down,
St. Eustatius.
St. Eustatius and then put down the valley, you'd be wrong.
Okay.
Orangestead with this.
The whole thing would be
Anybody
wrong.
have the Grand Islands capital? Grenadines?
Grenadines. It's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's one capital.
Oh, okay, it's
So that's
still
all-
capital.
Yes, this is one country.
Oh, it's the same thing. So it's interesting.
Okay, so Saba was, somebody said it, I mean, St. Eustatius, somebody said, I heard.
Me, Orangestad.
Orangestad. Orangestad.
Or Ron just that.
Spell it, can you spell it more?
ORANJ.
J?
It's Dutch.
ESPAD.
P-A-D? Hmm.
Orange.
That's, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Which one is that?
No, that's
Orange
Spacious,
sad.
I believe.
And Sava?
It doesn't have a number
Mhm.
listed. I don't see it on the map.
Somebody had it.
Somebody got it.
Had it. Did you have Sava's capital?
No, he doesn't, he's got, I got it
Oh,
over
you-
here.
you have it over
I
there?
got CC, but it is not here.
It's not there?
We have.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not Sava's.
Is that St. George?
Yeah,
Is
it says
this
the-
right?
It says the bottom.
Oh, is it the bottom?
The bottom?
Yes.
That's the name of the capital, the bottom.
That one I'll remember, that's the one I'm gonna remember.
Okay. So then the next one after that, if you're numbering that way, then the next one would be St. Kitts.
Oh, and then St.
Bassett.
If we're gonna go, if
Yeah,
we're
but-
coming that way, then the next number would be St. Kitts,
Then Edis.
Nevis.
And then just Nevis, yeah.
But they both have their own capitals, so they'll have separate numbers. And then Montserrat would be after that.
Oh.
Montserrat?
Yes.
Monserrat.
And then Guadalupe.
So I went down from there, then it doesn't hit Tobago.
Did you say Barbados? Yeah, okay, then, Trinidad or Tobago,
Okay.
or Tobago, Trinidad, however way you want to do it.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then I did all the map, and then I started going like capitals. Yeah, I might do that too. I don't know.
They just typed in like,
Oh, is it Sporkle?
No,
Oh, I
it's
did
just-
that.
yeah.
what the Caribbean map was.
Oh,
That's
okay.
really cool, send that to me, that's really neat, I like that. Okay. Yeah, Montserrat, okay, did you get the capitals right?
So
Charlestown.
Guadalupe has two capitals.
Montserrat.
I don't have one.
So. It says
Unless you're
on-
counting Paris.
Oh, now we're going,
It says
wait,
on
we're
this
not
map.
going
For the Leeward Islands.
So the next one, go,
Guadalupe.
Montserrat, then do Antigua, then do Barbuda.
Wait, did we do Guadalupe?
But it's at the bottom, that's your anchor.
Oh, okay, got it.
Oh, is that the butterfly one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So put that last.
Antigua, and
I'm sorry, where was I going? I was coming over here.
Yeah, it has two capitals.
On this capital. It has two cities listed, it doesn't have two capitals.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
Or why is it have the same one as?
That's gonna happen a couple more times.
That's silly.
It means low ground. So if the town was on low ground, you just name it that. It just happened to be more places than one that had low ground.
Can I have a paper bag?
Bottoms. Okay, you guys missed a couple here, the ABC cities, town, ones too.
So, I don't know.
Which one?
Make sure you
What's
do that,
Barbuda?
because
Yeah, you moved Barbuda's
I heard
capital.
something that makes me wanna make sure you have that. Okay, yeah, go. Go ahead. So Aruba,
Wait, where's Guadalupe?
It's not, that is not a fully finished.
you're almost done though.
I know, but I lost my reference.
No, I gotta edit.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
know,
can
that's what I'm
tell you,
saying.
Guadalupe.
King of Peace, I gotta run to the mail.
And then St. Bartholomew's, is that the last
And it's
one?
Bass,
No.
B-A-S-S-E. Line, E.
Line.
Oh.
Oh.
Line, the E and then line.
Oh, okay.
This one's capital T, E, R, R,
Oh, it's like, yeah.
E. Yeah.
Wait, so that's the same one as, okay.
Yes, it's spelled a little bit differently, there's a hyphen in it.
Yeah, that's gonna be, alright, thank you for
What about St.
You're
Croix?
welcome. Then, don't forget Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire.
but wait, did he do all those?
We could do St.
I can tell
Croix.
you what they are.
Okay, yeah, okay, but these ones are the
Leeward, right?
They are the Leeward Antilles.
We need to know St. Croix.
It's on here somewhere.
St. Croix is part of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah. Because they're part of our.
So Aruba is Oranjestad.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh.
so the same one as
Mm-hmm.
St. Eustatius?
It's Dutch. The Orange City. That's your orange.
Yeah, that works.
Curacao. A.
C-A.
That's totally wrong, but that's okay.
Which one?
C-U-R-A-C-A-O. And then
Just
there's a,
an A,
there's, a
not
little
totally-
squiggly, there's a little squiggly under the second
In
C.
French, it's
Oh,
called
yeah,
city.
yeah.
Okay, so it makes it a soft C. It's not a Garcon, it's a Garcon. Curacao, and the capital?
I don't know.
Willemstad.
Willem State.
Wait, with like an N or an M here?
I don't know, it's Dutch.
It's probably like W-I-L-L-E-N-S-T-E-D.
Willemstad. And then Bonaire, and Lord help me if I can remember how to pronounce, how to spell it.
Didn't we already have one?
Krajlik or
Yeah,
something.
but we also have Baster too.
Frog or frog.
Yeah. It starts with a K, and it has a J in it.
Oranjestad.
Oranjestad.
Oh wait, this one or this one?
No, that's Krajlik.
So
Something like that.
is Curacao Willemstad or Williamstead?
It's an M-A.
Okay.
Willemstad.
How do we have to spell that?
Bonaire.
Willemstad. It's
Donate.
William.
Oh, that's what I was saying, is it M or an N?
Yeah, William.
So is there a Grenadines and St. Vincent dash?
It's St. Vincent, it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Oh, I found it.
Kralin.
Kralin.
Give me a spelling.
Alright, K-R-A-L-E-N.
D-I-G-K.
A. Hold on, K-R-A-L.
L-E-N.
E-N.
Yep.
D-I-J-K.
J.
I knew there was a J in it. Again, if you guys get these, like, the spelling's like all weird, but I can figure out where you were going with it.
Is that all we need for?
I was about to say.
That's all the islands. We didn't
That's
do
it?
we didn't do the main.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys are good. You got this.
I'm even close to that.